Hi everybody, my name is Marian Villa. I'm senior full stack product designer at NodeSource. I'm Latina. I know I don't look like the typical Latina, but I am from Medellin, Colombia, so English is my second language. I feel very proud to belong to this little corner of South America. And thanks to computer video games, I have had a crush on computer science. I was a child, so I decided to study graphic interface at university. Then I get involved in human interaction design, UX, yes, whatever. So, being a nerd and mixing my ability between computer science and human science has also led me to seek where I've been in the industry. In 2016, I founded Spinneras Dev, the biggest community for women in tech in Colombia, with more than 1,200 women from low income backgrounds learning web programming languages. In 2020, we won the IBM Open Source Community Award, being the first and only Latin America to win it at the moment. And we have recognized from the Royal Academy of Engineering London for High Impact Innovation Project. So I have a clue of what to build a community. Finally, in 2021, I joined NodeSource, my first formal job in technology. My career was first in the academy as a proper professor in undergraduate and postgraduate courses at the main universities in my city and as a founder of a small digital agency. So I moved between design, communications, and tech, but I have also background in business and marketing, but consistently applied to social impact. So I believe that we are here for a purpose greater than ourselves. And that is what I have sought the opportunity to continue creating projects that positively impact the world. And Solid is the product that I was working in NodeSource. We released like the SaaS version, is an APM leader in Node.js and enables organizations to build, manage, secure, and analyze Node.js applications. It's fully compatible with runtime installed in place of open source project Node.js. So if you want to try it, you could go through this URL. But today I'm going to talk about empathy, the keystone in community building. So let's get started. So it's difficult to come up with an undefined definitions of community. And this is why community building is so fascinating. A community can be a virtual or a physical or both spaces where people sharing common interests, goals, or an experience come together to share, connect, exchange, and work toward shared goals. While this is a very broad definition, perhaps even too vague, of what community is, it's also enough for you to grasp the essential concepts of community and to understand that community is a fluid entity, a virtual concept that can be actualized and put in place in many different forms around every possible topic and through endless approaches and systems. So at the beginning, I was sharing the product I am working on in NodeSource because every product starts with a story. So several writers seem to agree when it comes to affirming that the character appears first and around him the story, the setting, and the rest of the characters appears later. In our story, developers are the heroes of the story. In mythology and folklore, a hero or a heroine is an eminent figure who embodies the key values in her culture of origin. People who feel safe to share what they know and are happy to involve others in this sharing process are the ones creating values by creating opportunities for collective learning. In the open source culture, the key values are distribution, modification, and use. Community spaces offer opportunities for ongoing exchange. By getting multiple perspectives, opinions, experience, and expertise, people get the chance to advance their own knowledge and benefits to join their own journey. DOM is the acronym I like to use, and the meaning could be an Indian word or an English word, but the meaning became from Latin, so it's an adverb meaning for a time in its use a conjunction corners either to correlations. So in DOM, community building needs to focus on providing value-driven experience that support the members to grow and transform. In distribution, use, and modification, that are the values of open source, but support is the gear that embraces these three key values. distribution, use, and modification, and is what makes community building possible for both developers and users. But you have other components to get here in the equation: collaboration, taking apart, teamwork, transparency, accessibility, and free adaptation to user needs. So, community spaces, knowledge and experience sharing, collective learning, and joint efforts towards shared goals found the ground for a strong sense of trust and loyalty. And this last point users want to be part is when they have or take an active role and become a maker, so taking curiosity to another state where the universe of our product is one where they are supportive, critical, and ethical. Sharing becomes a very empowering practice that can be turned into a source of motivation, inspiration, learning, and support for the people in the community. But how to create code with purpose and involve others? That's the main question in this keynote. So companies have here a call to be active participants in the open source culture, understanding that they are part of the ecosystems and that they are made up of humans who are active characters and build scenarios and stories in their interaction with the various publics of interesting stakeholders. So each community has the potential to amplify missions and causes and to set themselves proactively to organize mobilizations, activist programs, campaigns, or simply actions to engage with impact-driven transformation. The first clue to create an active community and true empathy is listen, because when you listen different perspectives, community spaces are collective spaces where a diversity of points of view, backgrounds, experience, and opinions have a big potential to create innovation. Many brains, souls, hearts, and points of view working together result in higher chances to get brand new solutions and approaches that can help coming up with innovative systems and answer to specific issues or challenges. So I truly invite you to listen from your heart. This implies to connect feelings and emotions with others. And that's the second clue. So connect. Connection is the ability to take information and apply in real time, being flexible but authentic. This means you don't need to edit yourself. And this being authentic leads us to every human connection expand exponentially and increase our ability to impact. When we connect to others, we expand our universe. And finally, engage. Engaging is taking an action, so taking part of the solution, go towards for something greater. So there is more of me when I'm connected to you. We're part of something bigger than you and me, togetherness, so we could create like the greater good in the world. The common value in community, I like to think like common unity. So it's a dialogue that flows between you and me, make us fit in and be our best selves. So community expands our definition, and some people say like about community or about a cause or something that truly matters to you, something that you are passionate about, and passion is not something we have, it's who we are. So great contributions when you take your passion to something greater than you and me did lead us to social change. So only when you get personal connections is when you feel you care, you belong, you have a promise there because you find a path with which you identify. At Node.js, we are the main Node.js distributor online of Node.js project, and our value is centered on our expertise and the ability we have to translate performance data into a product, making this accessible, interpretable, actionable, and also in production. But what happened in recent years? You have probably felt this disconnection with the communities and with our stakeholders. That is why with our heroes, the developers in Node.js, we were talking about how to create a greater good in the world, connecting between us. So The question will be like how to connect with others and go beyond that question. So the answer was pretty crazy at the time, planting trees in Medellin, Colombia, South America. And that's the way, not forests, born. We create several blogs explaining like all the process, but we realized that our digital footprint is big because of the servers we use and the technology that our engineers and customers love to use on a daily basis. So we were having discussion groups about how much we were worried about climate change, the impact we have on our planet, and the terrified figures that are on this great environmental problem that we all face. And no, this was not a marketing speech. It was really was an organization that we were listening to each other from the heart, connecting from the emotions, and understanding that this really mattered to us. I invite you to read the rest of the story in our blog post because a lighting tool would not be enough for me to express how transformative this experience has been for the team. But I can tell you with certainty that the three keys to creating projects for the community building is listen from emotions and feelings, connect, take that active listening and take it to actions, engage, which implies providing the tools to carry it out and committing to the cause. And finally, if there's only one thing I would like all you to remember for this short talk is this is you. Community is got you in the middle. You are an important part of our community and it could exist without you. So embrace it, be part of it, benefit of everything the community gives to you, but always give yourself to the community through empathy and let's be the change we want to see in the world. And if you want to be part of this amazing project, because we are going to plant a tree for every user and every person who try and solve it. So we have a 50% in our 8 tire and 12 tire. So the promo code must be right exactly the same. So you could take a screenshot or a photograph of these codes and go and try our product. Please provide feedback. We are going to listen from our heart and we are going to plant a tree in your name. Thank you.